Ocon goes P13. Not sure that's enough, Crofty.
I don't think it is, with Tsunoda and Stroll and Gasly all waiting behind him to try and go that little bit faster and push Esteban Ocon back into the relegation zone for the second week running here. Sebastian Vettel goes 9th fastest. That should be good enough for him on his 34th birthday. Lance Stroll goes 10th fastest. George Russell is now at risk. He's out on the track. Pierre Gasly now pushes Russell into the bottom 5 as Gasly goes 9th fastest. Mick Schumacher stays ahead of his teammate but can't get out of the bottom 5. Yuki Tsunoda is in that relegation zone and we'll see him around the last couple of corners. Looks steady enough. Straight line to the line, and 12th fastest for Tsunoda. Ocon is out of qualifying once again. Here comes Nicholas Latifi in the Williams. His teammate George Russell just behind him on the track. Leclerc goes 11th fastest. Can Latifi get into Q2 for the second time this season? No, he can't. Stays in the bottom 5. What about George Russell? Goes 12th fastest, and a 100% record continues for George Russell on a Saturday. 9 qualifying sessions, and it's 9 times into Q2. But for Esteban Ocon, second week running, same track, same result, out in Q1. The car park should have sorted itself out by the time Alonso rises over this crest and then doesn't see 6 cars in the way, all trying to get a gap, but he is going to get a little bit of traffic, and he's been held up by the Aston Martin there of Sebastian Vettel, who was starting his last lap, and I think the stewards are going to have a look at that. Alonso showing his frustration there as he crosses the line. Gasly goes 2nd fastest. Giovinazzi only 13th fastest. He is out of qualifying. Tsunoda goes into the top 10 with his latest lap. Here comes Charles Leclerc, crosses the line now, 9th fastest for Charles Leclerc. Next up will be his teammate Carlos Sainz. Sebastian Vettel, by the way, missed the checkered flag to start another flying lap as Verstappen goes into the 103s. That is some serious pace in the Red Bull. Sainz goes 9th fastest, and ahead then of his teammate Charles Leclerc, puts him very much at risk. Let's see what they can do from behind now as Ricciardo goes 13th fastest as he crosses the line. Bottas will be next to try and get back into the top 10. Hamilton does go 2nd fastest. Bottas still on the track. Russell goes 9th fastest, ahead of Sainz and ahead of Leclerc. This will be George Russell in Q3. Bottas goes 3rd fastest. He is in the top 3. George Russell makes it through to Q3, genuinely on pace for the first time as a Williams driver as well. And if Mr. Saturday is the man for qualifying, this is the most sensational of Super Saturdays for George Russell on the medium tyre. He's put his Williams in the top 10.
What the I cannot believe it.
We need a mate.
16.2 for Verstappen in Sector 1 versus 16.3 for Hamilton. I'm watching the mini sectors, plenty of purples going on, which is the best of anybody, and you can see on your screen Hamilton a 28.3 for Sector 2 with Verstappen just about to close in that sector to give us his indication. Norris in the 103s goes to the top of the timing charts ahead of Pierre Gasly. Hamilton a 28.3 in the middle sector, Bottas a 28.2, Verstappen a 28.2 as well. Verstappen's got the upper hand on Lewis Hamilton as it stands at the moment, as Hamilton goes 2nd fastest, 104.0, doesn't even beat Lando Norris in the McLaren. That is another sensational lap from Norris. It's another provisional pole for Max Verstappen, who goes a couple of tenths further ahead and once again cements his authority around the Red Bull ring, and once again half a second clear of his teammate Sergio Perez. Verstappen starts his lap. Norris now starts his lap. We are down to the final flying laps in qualifying. Yeah, you can already see Lando Norris in the mini sector. He's done 2 purples across the start and finish line, and that's benefiting from the slipstream of Max Verstappen. Verstappen's had one of those, but Lando Norris, he's going to do a very good first sector, and it's a 16.1. Norris, during practice, has been pushing the limits of this track, often going over the limits and looking a bit scruffy, but doing what Schumacher did once upon a time, pushing the limits to find the limit, and when he finds it, he's finding pace as well. And through the first sector, Norris ahead of Verstappen, but now in the middle sector, this is where Red Bull have been mighty. They have been mighty, but Sergio Perez and Pierre Gasly have managed to match him, and Max, he's not able to improve.
Max isn't improving, Lando is improving behind him, both setting a 28.3 through the middle sector. Verstappen is on provisional pole, we can see him rounding the final corner. Lando Norris, never been on pole in his career before, is after him. Can Lando Norris beat Max Verstappen? He misses out by 4/100ths of a second. Perez only third though, Norris ahead of the second Red Bull. Be right on board now with Lewis Hamilton, who was on the front row with Max Verstappen here 7 days ago. Can he get that Mercedes up any further? No, he can't. It's only fourth fastest for Lewis Hamilton. That gets almost as big a cheer from the Dutch fans as Verstappen taking pole. It has been a sensational day if you're wearing orange or your car is all dressed in orange. Verstappen on pole, Lando Norris on the front row.
Absolutely outstanding job, Lando Norris. But Red Bull, they are going to be so happy with this result. Verstappen P1, Perez P3, Lando Norris on a medium tyre, and that gap between them and the charging Mercedes at Hamilton, that is going to make a dent in their race tomorrow afternoon.